Okay, we're going to talk about insomnia.
All right, insomnia is, we kind of switched gears and talked about doing insomnia as our fall kickoff event. And you guys remember Fusion was kind of supposed to be our fall outreach event last year, but as we kind of looked at it, I think a lot of us felt like just the way Fusion is set up, it is not really best designed as an outreach event and is more of maybe like a dig deeper event with our core kids. And so why we decided to place insomnia in the fall was we figured school's starting, and so we want to do a big kickoff event that has elements that junior high students enjoy and gets like a boatload of students in the doors and on our radars. And I know like this past spring, that's what insomnia was. I think it's the biggest junior high event, Fuse event that we've had since Fuse. I mean, we had close to 300 students there. It was crazy. And that was without two campuses, so it could even be bigger. But the date we're looking at for this year is September 21st, so it would be the weekend after. Really, Jordan and I originally, when we started talking about it, we were thinking the Labor Day weekend on that Sunday, but I think scheduling with everyone and just Labor Day being Labor Day, this might work out a little better. But I think I don't want to push it back any further. It's already pretty far away from the start of the school year as is, and so I really want to try and stick to this date if at all possible. I know it's not ideal for everybody. I mean, it's not even so much ideal for me because all my junior high football players will have a game that Saturday, so all the junior high football players will be out. I'm not entirely concerned about that because there are actually not even that many junior high football players to begin with, so it's not that big of a deal.
Is that a Friday?
If it's Friday, yep. So it'd be Friday. Last year, time-wise, we went 7 to 7. This year, I think we would go 8 to 7. It trims off an hour, and it just will make it. It'll make it a little more smooth. I don't think we missed the mark on schedule last year by that much, but it definitely felt a little long. Like an hour could have gotten trimmed off, and it would have, I think, made everything a little smoother. So the number that I'm kind of working for, price-wise and budget-wise, is $20 a kid again, which I think last year we saw that's a really, really good price point for what they get. That's going to give them 2 main attractions at Scotty's, which is huge. And then obviously if they're wanting to spend more money at Scotty's, they can. But let's say, so Scotty's gets $10 of that $20 regardless, so we get basically $10 per kid that shows up. And so the number that I'm kind of anticipating, and this is kind of taking into effect that fall is pretty jam-packed, so I'm already counting that we might not have as many students as we did last year just because fall is not spring and availability. So I'm guessing 250 students. I think that's, with all of our campuses bought in, I think that's a number we can hit relatively easily, and I think that's a conservative number. So that gives us $2,500 to work with. Just for everything outside of Scotty's. Now we're going to be feeding them, and we're going to have a lot of soda. And in order to make sure that happens, that's going to be around $1,500 for the food and the soda, just to make sure that the soda fountain will not run out all night. If a kid wants to drink 6 liters of Mountain Dew throughout the evening, he can. And then that also takes care of pizza. So that leaves us with roughly $1,000 to take care of entertainment for the evening. One option we had, and I spoke with Jordan about this, last year we had a guy named DeMatt come in. He's a rapper. He rapped and gave a testimony, and he did it for $200, which is pretty ridiculous. The likelihood of getting someone to come in and do that entertainment and testimony for $200 is pretty unrealistic, so that was really nice. I've got a buddy who does comedy in the Twin Cities. His name's Juice. He's a black guy, pretty funny. He was a little more expensive than I was anticipating. He's going to end up being around $600 for everything, which if we do that, that's great, and he would do a good job, but that only leaves us about $500, $400.
Is there any money that the church kicks in for this event per person?
There was not last year.
Okay.
But at Fusion, there was.
At Fusion, there is. And so
Fusion is technically what this event is.
Well, Fusion is technically what this
Fall
spring
fall.
event is going to be.
Oh, I see.
So we're
Right.
gonna we need to ask, do we want that money from the church for this event, or do we want that money from the
Well,
church for?
True. Now, we haven't done a fusion in this calendar year,
Correct.
so there should be all that money there that we
I
can
don't-
spend, because November it goes back to zero, so.
Right. Huh.
Yeah, there's a big budget for it too.
Yeah, we should be able to,
So we should be able to spend that if you want. How about that?
for this year,
Boom.
How much money was that per kid?
Fusion?
Yeah,
to 10.
from the
40.
church, 20 bucks?
20.
Yeah.
It was 45. 45 was the cost of the event. I want to say
Yeah,
church kicked in 20. We charged 25.
Yeah.
Is that what we did?
yeah,
Sure. So I think there's $20 from the church per kid available, which completely changes
it's a
everything
big game
A
changer.
little bit.
when it comes
So there's
to.
some money there because we didn't spend any of it.
So, yeah, so that changes basically everything. So if you guys want to get Tim Tebow to come in, we can get Tim Tebow to come in. Yeah,
Yeah, you gotta be careful though, because if that's not gonna be there next year, you gotta be careful on what you put in there this year.
right.
If you're not gonna be able to do it next year, so you
Yeah.
wanna be intentional with what you spend to make sure it's.
Well, and it could be where we split it up and we go, well, let's do 10 for this spring event and 10 for the fall event instead of the 20 all in
I
one.
just, personally, I think that what we want to do with the spring event, what we can accomplish for little money with this event
Right,
is great compared to what we can accomplish with what we want to do with our spring event. I think that would necessitate more fundage.
Okay, very good.
So, sorry,
You're okay.
I was looking at calendar stuff.
Great.
What do you say about prices and budget stuff for this event? Run that one more time.
Okay, it costs $20 per kid, so every
Yep.
kid's paying $20. 10 of that goes to Scotty's.
Right.
So per kid, we get about $10 to work with. If we
Okay.
have 250 kids, which I think is a conservative number, that
Mhm.
gives us $2,500 to work with. Of that, for us to be taken care of for food and soda, there's $1,500 that goes towards that.
Okay.
So as of right now, with no per head money, we got about $1,000 to work with for any kind of entertainment we
Right.
want. Now, I don't necessarily know if, I think it's nice to have an entertainment, like bring in someone from the outside.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if as long as we incorporate some kind of special new element, I don't know if we need that.
Right.
It was nice.
how long was DMAC, do you remember how long that time frame was?
Half an hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah, say 45.
I'm just thinking, cause that's gonna be a big open slot if you're not.
So it's a lot of time.
Which means, it just means that you're gonna have to entertain them for longer
Right.
if you don't do.
Yeah,
if you
or
don't bring
incorporate, something else, or, I mean, we could say, we don't do DMAC, but we do Tangerine Bowl or something like that.
Mhm.
Yes.
Just an idea.
Mhm.
But
Good.
I can schedule, I can get Juice on the books and we can pay him $600 to come in and do his comedy spiel, which will be funny. The kids will dig that and he can give a testimony and that'll be good. We can do that. Or we can do something else. I'm up for.
But what did you say about budget wise? Like budget,
Got
We
1,000.
got $1,000 to work with outside of the things that we need.
and that's just from the kids. We don't have anything budgeted for this event.
That's with no.
That's
it
for
would
no,
change-
if they were to give us $5 a head,
it would
then
change the game.
we got a lot of money to work with. They give us an extra $1,250.
Yeah, but, and all I'm saying is in this calendar year, we haven't spent that money that
Right.
they've allowed, so
That's
I
what I'm
don't have
asking.
a
Yeah,
problem.
it's gonna go. It's
I
gonna go
don't
away.
have a problem
It's gonna
with
go
$5,
away.
$10.
If it's there, we
Even-
use it.
And then in the
$5
spring,
would be huge.
and then in the spring, we will have the spring event and you can use that money for that, or you could even split it 15-5.
Or just hats.
So we're gonna buy an attraction that we can use at other places as well.
Yep. The one thing you want to do here is you want to use your budget that you have allotted for this event.
Right.
Then, once you've done that, when the new budget year rolls around, then when it comes to spring, you evaluate how much you want to pour into your spring event,
Mhm.
or do you want to split it to your spring event and your fall event?
Okay.
So you're safe on this fall event.
Yes.
It's the discernment after
Right.
what you want to do for next year. So
Right.
this year, you go big.
Okay, great. So we're gonna go with $20 a head and
So at 200 people, how much money is that? That's good.
$4,000.
Anybody's feel?
$4,000.
Dude, I say, could we do a split between Tangerine like we used to do back in the day?
Yeah, but that's
Half
not
the
even.
kids at Tangerine while the other
You're
half.
still fine.
I kind of like, to be honest, I don't really like splitting them up.
Right.
It depends. There's a limit at Tangerine,
Mhm.
but people hang around and have fun still.
Yeah,
and not
right.
bowl.
And not
So
bowl.
I didn't do any. Well,
Did you go to Scouties?
I'm a leader, so I guess that apply. But I didn't do any laser tag because every time I went to the laser tag, the line was too long.
Too long.
I'm like, I'm not gonna stand
Right,
here
okay.
and wait for this long to play laser tag. And that's all I wanted to do. But again, I'm a leader. Who cares about me?
So what if we, I just want all my kids, I would really like to have all my kids in the same spot
Yeah,
at one time.
for
So if we
sure.
split it by campus and be
Yeah.
like,
Yes.
hey,
I shouldn't have a problem.
we're going, these campuses are going to Tangerine to start with, these campuses are going to Scotty's to start with. and
we
flip
do
flop.
it. We did like
Yeah.
group, like a
Like
white
a
group
white
and a blue
group,
group,
yeah.
and it's like on the white wristbands it had your schedule that you were at Tangerine 1 to 3, you're at
Okay.
Scotty's 3 to 5, and then on the blue ones it had Tangerine, you had Scotty's 1 to 3, and Tangerine, so you knew like around your thing, whatever your time slots are, like you know like oh that's my group, white group's loaded in, let's roll blue group.
You could also
You
have
can
the
get
kids
straight up.
pay next to
You
nothing.
can get it straight up.
You could have the event and the student pays $5
Yeah, or nothing.
or nothing.
Yeah, that's another thing we talk about.
I'm not saying
church
that-
money.
No, I would charge, man. I think.
Dude,
Whenever you put-
the kid going to an all night, going to Sky to Tangerine, they'll spend $20
Yeah, 20,
all
yeah.
day.
It's not about, it's not about will they, we know they will.
The thing is, it
Yeah,
allows
I
you to use it, I mean, it allows you to use it so you can do all the fun stuff and you can buy something to use in the future. I just don't think, I think a parent sending a kid is not gonna be,
Yeah,
I don't think we lost any kids last year by charging $20. I don't think we're.
Yeah,
There's
we're
not a
good.
single kid that I couldn't bring. So
I'm not saying it's
we
a
don't
problem,
need
I'm
to.
just saying you could.
yeah, that's an option. I see what you're saying. Okay, so
$20.
Because here's what we need to think too. Like, if I'm paying $5 to go do something all night,
yep.
I'm gonna think this is not gonna be fun. Like $5 isn't gonna do anything. I'm just gonna go eat and look at a wall.
Right.
So I think that it makes sense to charge the same amount and just
All right. So
Invest that money somewhere.
Let me just okay.
Genius.
I think you charge because then next year the expectation is
Yeah,
probably
I
not
agree
to charge
that too.
anyway.
Expectation is a big one. Let me just crunch this number real quick. Okay. All right. So let's say we have 250 students. We know we're getting $10 from Scotty's, so that's 2,500. And then if we also 250 times 20, so $7,500 is what we have to spend.
Let's get inflatables.
So pizza and soda is 1,500. So that brings us down to $6,000.
you get better entertainment too.
We can
Yeah.
shirts,
Like we don't have.
shirt,
I mean, you could use
Shirts too.
shirts,
Or some ideas.
wristbands.
Shirts. So I guess a concern that I have is something Jordan just brought up, is that if we load this one to the 9s, next year when we do it, kids are going to be like, where the heck is the shirt? Where the heck is this? Where the heck is that? That's why I think with this extra money, I think we need to invest it in something that we can use long term
Yeah.
for future
I don't disagree.
events. So maybe like it's buying an inflatable.
Is this to go to the camp then? Is that what you're thinking?
No, I'm saying
Bias?
like for the camp, like this is
A resource.
a resource for our student ministry to where, you know, we buy inflatables, we rent inflatables all the time, but how much does it cost to buy the
Insurance.
inflatable?
Sure.
Insurance is why we don't.
Insurance is why we don't buy one?
Yeah. Because we would be saving money, but insurance is the reason.
So we can't buy an inflatable?
I mean, you can buy it.
It'd be a check with
I don't
that.
think we'll take it
Okay.
insurance wise.
So
That's
we can't
just
buy
so
it.
you know.
Right,
That's the
okay,
reason
yeah,
why.
good deal. So that's just what I'm saying. So if we have $6,000 extra for this event, what can we invest it in that is not going to make this insomnia leaps and bounds better than any other insomnia that we do? Tangerine will be $5 a kid, you think, Josh?
On the high end.
On the high end, so $5 a kid, so what is that?
That's
So
for 2 games too, probably.
5 times 250 is what? 1250? Okay, so,
You're still talking tons.
yeah, so.
I mean, can you utilize the entire
4750.
other half of the church to do like a Nerf war, airsoft, or like it's something like that where you kind of outfit, because then you can use it in the future again and again and again. Like, can you outfit something in the facility so next year when we do insomnia, they can still use that thing? So like, what is that? Is it the hockey thing? You've seen that where you got the mats and the goals and all that stuff. That can be pretty cool. You can use it outside. Is there some big thing we can bring in outside, which is something we never utilized last year, but we could utilize the outdoors? What could we do where we're not talking adding to insurance, but at the same time we're adding value to the years to come? Because then that purchase, even though it's only this year, it can continue and be carried throughout.
Right. And let me give you guys the caveat of this event, and this is a relatively big caveat. So we have $4,700 to spend extra outside of things that we need, on entertainment, on extra things, on amenities to deck out the church. I think it makes sense for this event to be at 48th Street, and I will try to be as plugged in as I can with setup and running this event. However, my wife is due 1 week before this event is happening. So I'm trying to be mindful of that week of the event. I'm not going to be able to be outfitting the church for a Fortnite Nerf war mass scale type thing. So
Right.
just
We hear you.
throwing that out there.
Yep. Yep. Very minimal setup needs to.
Right. I mean, I have no doubt that I'll be there on the 21st, and from home I'll be able to do all the sign up stuff, getting
Right.
all my kids there.
Sure.
But as far as set up the week of, probably not like a super big lift of spending $3,000 and setting up the church for Fortnite. Like, that's just an idea.
Yeah.
So yeah, what other things could we do with that money?
I mean, did you calculate whatever you would do to entertain girls?
Well, last year we did slime
Right.
karaoke, which is probably $100 total, which is nothing.
Okay.
What if you got like a legit spa? You brought in like a legit spa.
For the leaders?
A legit spa. Yeah, so that just kind of falls into that category too, where you were out, but I was saying that like with this extra money, I kind of want to only buy things that we can keep, so that we don't make this one like crazy better than the other ones in the future. You said a legit spa, that'd be sweet for the girls. I mean, we could like make up and get like crazy amounts of, I don't know, set up like a salon or something.
I
But
think we need that at camp, the spa for the leaders.
yeah, that's a good idea.
I see what you're saying. All right.
Where's Jason?
Yeah, we're all the leaders.
We went with floating chambers where nothing interferes, and you just float and turn it.
But I mean, we got a little over a month.
Not much time.
Yeah, not a ton of time to like get this stuff pinned down. Now, graphic wise, I'll have something out soon to you guys to where we can start promoting this like ASAP. So probably the next time we meet in person, I'll have the invite cards for you guys to get out to your students. So towards the beginning of the school year, they can already start dishing out these friends like, hey, come to this event, it's gonna be awesome.
What was the date, 26th,
21st.
21st?
21st.
You say we're
21st.
starting at 8, or do we want to push it back a little bit?
Yeah.
I think if we want, I think even now more so than ever, if we're gonna do Tangerine as well, I think we want the 8 to 7, so that's 11 hours to do whatever we want.
I know in the past, whenever there was an overnight deal, like a lock-in, some of the campuses would bunk up drivers. Is that something that would come out of that budget?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so it's like, I don't know how much of that would cost, like
Yeah.
hotel room for Kirksville.
Yeah, a hotel, you're saying for like a Kirksville driver or whatever?
Or two, it depends how many students we bring, but yeah, as long, if they're all guys or something, yeah, they can all bunk
Yeah.
up in one room.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm just saying, if that's $100 per campus, that might be something to think about, or per, there might be like.
Definitely. So security is something, security, bunking.
You might wanna look in transportation too.
Yeah, because we're gonna have to spend gas money.
Yeah, gas for transportation.
I don't know. The reason why I had to ask about budget and stuff is, I was looking up the calendar for the Macomb School District, and that weekend is homecoming in Macomb. Which doesn't usually affect middle school, at least not a time that Fusion or Insomnia, whatever it is that we're calling it, will be, but it would definitely take out any of my high school volunteers I would have, and possibly take me out as well, but our kids would still be there, but I wouldn't be driving the bus.
Take you out because of homecoming?
Because of homecoming, and because I may or may not have been planning an all-night event on the 22nd just for high school after their homecoming dance. Kind of like they do an after prom,
Right.
and there's no after homecoming. And I've been toying around with the idea of doing something on that 22nd.
Right. I think that,
But you would probably still have the same amount of kids.
right.
Because Macomb's football team isn't worth like sticking around and watching them play homecoming. Like it's just, it's sad.
Sure.
So, but volunteer-wise, I won't have any of my high school students, which
It was
is
either Keokuk or Fredonia, Kansas that had a homecoming game away.
You're like, you don't want people to come watch.
Yeah, it wasn't even in work out. It's like, what?
So, I mean, anything else? Do we wanna do some kind of like raffle for a big giveaway?
I love raffles, or not necessarily like a raffle, but a big giveaway.
Yeah, or like,
We
You
could.
want like different competitions, you want to award some of the different competitions?
yeah, we can award all the different competitions. I
Just
mean,
trying to think of different ways to.
yeah, last year we had a basketball tournament, volleyball tournament. Obviously, we had Fortnite going all throughout the evening.
Did you? When did we give away V-Bucks?
I was talking about doing that for this event.
Okay.
We'll set up a legitimate like Fortnite tournament where the winners get $50 in V-Bucks or something. My kids will hop all over that.
Have a fight.
Do some fighting.
What is that worth? $50.
50 bucks.
Okay.
So any other ideas with that extra money? Obviously, an entertainer would be nice.
Yeah. Let me think about it for a little while, think what I can bring. All of us obviously would need to bring some,
Yeah.
but,
As far as entertainment,
well, just as far as what different components we can bring, because it completely changes the game when we're
Yeah.
talking about having even $1,000.
this comedian guy for 6 bills, is that something we want to go ahead and pull the trigger and say, yeah, let's do that? Or
Can I say a video of them? Does he have videos on YouTube or anything?
Yeah, I can send you some of this stuff. I'll put it in the group.
Yeah.
He does a lot of like high school and junior high events in the Twin Cities area.
Good.
I mean, what did we spend on Ray's, do you remember?
Lots.
Yeah.
2,500.
Yeah, it was good,
He was good.
he was down in Branson, I saw him on the big,
Oh, yeah.
big screen there. We didn't go watch him.
Yeah, he was really good though. Something like that had such a wow factor.
Mm.
That I thought actually every kid was pretty much engaged the whole time.
Yeah. All right, so outside of that, which you guys can send me ideas if you have any ideas for what we want to do with that money. Responsibilities, like I said, I think last year Jordan and I did the majority of the poll on this event just because we threw it together last minute and we didn't really ask for a ton of help.
What are some of the elements? Go through those.
Games, who wants to be responsible for the girl element, whatever that ends up being. Who wants to be responsible for like session element.
Session, what's that?
Like when I say session, I mean like the auditorium style, like not auditorium, conference center, maybe auditorium. I mean that one will be me. I just put it down on here.
Okay.
It might not though. Like if you're having a kid, you know, if you're having a kid, I mean, definitely sign you down for anything that you're on, just in case your kid comes.
Right. Security
That would be a good one.
is a good one.
Anybody want to snag any of these?
Karaoke,
Food,
probably do again. Food,
serving,
which food and serving is, I
evening.
mean, so easy.
Last year.
Last year we
Four
literally
people,
just had,
maybe.
yeah, like 4 people, and when the kids came down from the entertainment, they just grabbed plates of pizza and just went and grabbed a seat on the floor. It was really, really easy.
So the food person needs to have all that lined up and set
Cleanup
out.
would be nice.
What's that?
Yeah, a cleaning crew, someone responsible for cleaning.
That would be really,
That was awful.
Y'all can stick me wherever you want, like I was sending with Josh, like whatever, just put me somewhere, like I'm good at whatever. I'm gonna do whatever.
Andre, I know you have in the past set up security for things like this. Would you be able to make sure that a security guy or 2 get sent down? Or see if you have a security person who's available?
I should be able to do that. I didn't say anything too soon just because I want to wrap my mind more around homecoming and who I'll
Right.
have. But I can at least start talking to Bob, and he can chase that down honestly.
Okay.
So yeah, put me down for security. But I'll let you know how else that can be helpful once I kind of narrow down whether or not I'm going to do this.
Monty, which one do you want, or what do you want? Go through the list again.
Girls element, karaoke. I'll probably just give this one to Corey, to be honest.
tournaments, cleanup. I mean, the nice thing,
I
if any campus is close,
Mhm.
cleanup, having a separate set of people come in at like 8 a.m. and clean, like that's probably the best route, not people that we have already there.
True.
I mean, Monty, if you're planning on having this like again where you have Dalton do the majority of like staying with your kids late night, you think you could have like a 1919 come in at 8 o'clock and
Yeah.
clean?
Yeah, we can play church.
And it's, honestly, most of it is just I don't know if we'll spread it out to the other parts of the church, but last year it was just like mopping the floor 6 million times. It was still sticky.
There's like, yeah, just picking up the studio and the gym, there's a lot of garbage left around. We'll try and do like we did last year, like when people went, like I went and cleaned the entire like gym and that, trying to clean up as we go, just our leaders, but.
So then food, like I said, food is really easy.
So we got that cleaning. Okay, Jason, which one do you want there? You need to hear the list again, or?
Would you be able to just tackle the girls?
So what, tell me about that. Is
So
that-
for instance, like last year, the big girls poll that we had was slime, and so it was just setting up, or I didn't even do it, I just had someone that I knew how to, I knew that they know how to do slime, so I just had them do like a quick tutorial, and then however many girls wanted to, just gathered around these like 4 long tables and just made slime. And then they cleaned up while we were at Scotty's.
One thing that we did really good at camp, we actually just printed off directions. We have them to the stations. Like we moved to that, like Lindsay did a great job of just kind of putting on that stuff. And then it was more of just an overseeing type deal.
Right.
Where it wasn't like you're leading the entire, because
Right.
most kids now, make slime, we've done this a few times now, but, I mean, if you get someone really good, that's awesome too, but kind of overseeing and cleanup, for sure, all it's
So there's that, or food, drinks. Drinks is just, we'll have the fountain set up, but we'll just need a few people standing there throughout the evening.
Do you remember what size cups we got last year?
Last year,
Did we get too big, did we get too small, what did we get?
we just got the regular stock ones from Pepsi, the ones that they throw into the order.
I was just trying to remember, I feel like we said something about that, and we were supposed to remember it.
I feel like the cups were,
Were they too big? Is that what it was?
The Pepsi styrofoam will be too big.
Yeah, I think that's.
Just need to get the cheap white plastic ones. that
Yeah,
are
like the
8
7
ounces.
ounce, yeah, 8 ounce. I just remember that was something we wanted to make sure. this
right,
year.
you think smaller cups would be better? And they wouldn't just be like kids finishing their cup and just leaving it somewhere and then
Yeah, it's better than
Better
spilling
than
their drink.
small.
You remember those certain
So
times you
there's
mopped the
girls,
floor?
food, and drink is the three things that are left here.
Okay,
Any of those jump out?
I can do the slime, I guess. Just
Okay.
purchasing it, setting it up, cleaning it up afterwards.
Yeah, it would be,
Probably purchasing, we could just do that and ship it off.
yeah, I was, purchasing, I can take care of purchasing it. It's just like somebody manning that station during the,
Yeah. So it's set up, a little bit of setup involved and cleanup involved.
right. Unless you like, let's say you have like, hey, I'd rather do this with girls and I think that they'd really enjoy that, then that'd be okay too. Like, it doesn't have to be slime, but.
If you want to set up a spa day,
Yes, that's what I'll look into.
And
put your
then
feet in.
we've got food and drinks left. Brett, you're on games.
You wax machine,
I mean, food and drinks is stuff that I can,
Mhm.
with 48th Street people.
Or I can take a team of students
Right.
too to help out, we can kind of combo play to that sucker.
Who's pumped this year?
What games did you say?
Yeah.
So like just when we do
We did tournaments
like
last year,
tournaments,
dodgeball,
like just a dodgeball
basketball,
tournament, basketball tournament.
Cool.
maybe volleyball would be the one, yeah.
I'll take care of the video game element, or at least mix it.
So is there a sign up for these tournaments like they did at camp, or do you
Yeah,
know
like
what?
it's kind of like you sign up by this time and then you're good, like we had different sign up spots.
So I'll try and come up with a schedule, but tentatively, if they get there at 8 o'clock, you'd have free time until 8:30. 8:30 would be the session where we have the guy speak, give his testimony. That would go till probably 9:15, 9:30.
Yeah, yeah, let's think so.
Okay, we'll just call it 9:30.
Because if you do a welcome, because that's your one time, we just gotta remember this from
Yeah.
last year, that's your one opportunity if you're gonna
One,
speak to
that's-
these students,
yeah.
you only get one chance.
You
By
get
the time
one
they're
chance.
in the morning,
And
they're
so
gone.
the goal for that is have someone entertain, have someone give their testimony, and then have someone be like, hey, if you're having fun tonight, if you have fun tonight, please start coming to Fuse. Fuse is, just do a quick like
Plug.
plug for Fuse. So 9:30 we would do food, which takes literally 15 minutes, but so we could say after food, we could do the slime then, and more free time until 11.
Mhm.
So 11, we would split and go Tangerine and Scotty's. So 11, Group A, Scotty's, Group B, Tangerine, and then at 1 o'clock, it would be Group B, Scotty's, Group A, Tangerine.
Need to make sure our transportation's on point too this year.
Yeah, is transportation one of your elements to be in there?
No.
That could be a good cost, that could.
Make sure Mount Sterling bus.
Well, we just need the buses. We just need,
Buses and drivers. So-
yeah, so we, like the Macomb bus is something, like I don't necessarily think we need to rent buses. I think we have plenty of vehicles. We just need to make sure we have people that are,
Yep,
if we have the Mount Sterling bus, we have the Macomb bus.
Yeah, it's here.
Yeah, it's here.
That's not.
Mount Sterling bus, Macomb bus, and then honestly, one more bus.
So what does Kirksville bus need? I think.
It needs quite a bit of work. I can, actually, we need to license it. It failed inspection with a lot of things. One of them, I can't remember what it was off the top of my head, but the guy who did it said, we're not gonna work on that here. We don't have that kind of time. And he's like, this is a pretty involved thing. He said we needed to find somewhere that, and there is a place in Kirksville that can do it. But he just was like, yeah, this is
It's gonna cost money.
pretty bad. I don't know how much the bus is worth.
You don't know what the big issue.
I can find out.
Yeah,
I
let
can't-
me know, because I'd like to do something with that bus, either get rid of it or get it in action and.
Gooey, what I heard his name from Pike County, that they connect to Pike County, does the Durham buses. They did all our camp transportation. He actually personally bought an entire fleet of buses because they were doing a turnover. So we might be able to get them even cheaper. If we're saying, hey, we really just want to influence, we want 2 extra buses to help move kids around so we're not wasting time. We might be able to get them a lot cheaper. Because last time, for a student came, he said, I don't want you to know, I just purchased a fleet of buses. So just contact me directly. Don't use my Durham email because that's not longer than
That ain't cool.
Huh.
That's awesome.
So, yeah, transportation definitely is gonna be important with the 2 different places. So that puts us at getting back from Scotty's and Tangerine at 3.
Yeah. Going to tournament time, movie in there somewhere.
Tournament.
You got your time slots for Tangerine and Sky is going to be determined on when they close. So you need to call and check that before you schedule it.
The close. I had Scotty scheduled from 11 to 1 already.
So they close at 11 on Fridays?
Yes. So 11 to 1 is when.
You needed 11 to 3.
Yeah. So I need to call him back and tell him 11 to 3, which I don't know if that's going to change anything.
Yeah, you got to
For
all
them.
figure it out.
Because for them, it's the same amount of
It's more labor.
but the same amount of money. So.
Just a call to see.
Yeah. And if we need to change our schedule, we know what components are going to be in the night. You know, I mean, throughout the night, where we got to slot those. That'll be okay.
Right.
One thing I like doing, like if at all possible, only opening up certain things for certain times. I think that's a big win, as long as we can announce it correctly. Like when we did karaoke, is available at this time, this is available at this time.
Yep.
I always felt like that was really good. We had like kids moving at different spots and spaces. And karaoke's one that really gets girls involved too. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm just thinking like, so if that puts us back at 3, that means we could do karaoke at 3,
Yeah.
and then that would go to when 3:30, 3:45,
Yeah. Let's start the next thing.
and then there'd be tournaments after that. Or you start tournaments at 3:45.
We did, I don't know if you know about this, you can, but doing Scotty's and bowling to finish the night helped keep the kids awake versus trying to finish the night with stuff at the church, if that's not an option.
That is a good idea. I don't know if
That would be awesome if we could pull it off.
we could
But
do
it's worth a
like.
phone call.
5, end at 5.
I'll ask
something.
Jeff. I doubt it, but I'll ask.
I doubt it too, but.
Wasn't that how one of them was? I thought
We used to do them 1 to 5.
Yeah.
But we also didn't have 6th graders. At that 1 year we did, and I think we learned from it.
What did the 6th grader do?
That first year of fusion, I think it's sick. I mean, if you have them back at the church, they're just gonna fall down sleeping.
Yeah.
It don't matter where it's at, they're just gonna fall.
Yeah.
In the wall.
I mean, but the same's gonna happen at Tangerine.
So,
If you're at Tangerine from 3 to 5, I bet half the place is sleeping. So I would,
Right.
I think you're 11 to 3 hours the most
probably
bang for money. And if a kid's gonna fall asleep, we want them to do it in church, not on a bowling.
Right. Okay, so we'll stick with the 11 to 3 being our outer, if we can swing that. If not, we might have to just do Scotty's from 11 to 1 for everybody, and then 1 to 3
Mm-hmm.
go Tangerine and then just have to deal with people taking turns or,
Mm-hmm.
or was the capacity thing like an actual like capacity in the building?
No, I doubt it.
No, you should
I
be
don't
fine
think
on
they follow
capacity.
those things.
Right. We have it where everyone goes to Scotty's from 11 to 1, and then Group A comes back to the church, and Group B goes to Tangerine for an hour, and then flip-flop, something like that, you know what I mean? All right,
And you're talking about doing ball tournaments at 4?
it's the only time I see available with us getting back at 3. Everything else is pretty booked until then. No, we probably did our tournaments last year, close to that time, right?
I could look it up, I'm sure I have it on here somewhere.
I want to say, and they still, I mean, obviously towards the end of any tournament, it kind of fizzles, but at the beginning, it had 16.
Yep. The movie also, I think, is a great one. Kids just kind of wind down with that, and they're able to go to sleep if they want to. If we added popcorn, which we didn't do last year, that was a pain in the butt to clean up, but
Yeah, we can do
it's a nice little snack there for them.
Yeah, we'll do popcorn this year.
I think we got 2 machines over here.
Okay, cool. Well,
We can work on the schedule a little bit then. As long as we get down Scotty's and Tangerine nailed down, that's gonna be pleased.
sweet. So with all that stuff, if you guys have ideas for entertainers or stuff to spend money on, let me know.
Cool. Is that it? So one assignment we have is the 7-day cards for 7. When, like by tomorrow, sometime shoot us something on Group Me. Just shoot stuff out tomorrow. Does that work? Do we need it that soon? If you push it off too far, it just kind of gets forgotten.
I'd say, I'd say by Friday.
You know,
Yeah.
Friday's day off, so ish.
Are the cards successive days or are they random? That help in planning.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think that would be.
I think.
For now, it'd be
successive days.
well,
I think successive. If it's not random and you're talking like, is it like? the
Yeah, like
same-
am I sending random like things or am I sending like, here's the flow of thought? Like from,
yeah, what Josh was talking about was a flow
Yeah.
of thought.
If you want to incorporate your own flow, great.
no, I
If you just want to give me 4 ideas, great. Or if you want to say, hey, check out this flow, that'd be great to work with.
Alright.
Anyway, yeah. All right. I'll get this community.